What's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday or happy Wednesday for some of you guys. Bear with me. Give me 2 seconds here. We're going to get started. Perfect. All right. There we go. And perfect. All right. How's everybody doing? Good. So yeah, sorry. I was finishing up some stuff, putting something together in my garage. And man, what is... All right, awesome. Let's dive into it. Let me open up all my stuff. So just like I normally do it, we'll kind of go through what happened last week. I did catch some really nice moves. We'll kind of go what I'm looking for the rest of the week, and kind of just setting everything up to go through there. All right. Let me... bear with me here. Here we go. And Safari it is. Perfect. Awesome. So welcome everybody. Let's dive right into it, man. What's my IG? Just type in fibs and profits. You'll see it on my chart. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me just open up all my shenanigans. And so yeah, we'll go down the list. I'm going to kind of just go through everything. Obviously, I'm still holding. I'm in 6 current trades. I'm still holding. We'll kind of go from there, and we'll play it off. Nothing really on Chef JPY to really update. I'm honestly still just holding what I have from down here. I have taken 3 partials now. I've secured 25% on all 3. Thoughts on NU? Yeah. I'm in a trade on NU, so we'll go over it. Yeah, if you guys have some charts you want to take a look at, definitely drop it in the chat, man. We'll get into it. So let's see. Bro, if it's the accumulation on GU, yeah, I'm not even, yeah, I could care less about it. Yeah, I could care less about it. Yeah, no. I mean, it's a type 2 for me, bro. And I'm not even worrying about it. Here, I'll tell you what, I will share this. I'll share this with everybody real quick. So this is what I shared with a couple people in my group. Well, let me just open it up. Bear with me here. So, you guys know I'm very big on journaling, and I spent this weekend kind of just going through some of my journals, right? And so I obviously I didn't do it because it would take me forever to do this, but I created a new formula in my journal, and what I wanted to see was this right here, and I'll share it with everybody. So this is a screenshot of my journal. So I did a new tracking system, and I did it by entries off the day of the week. So whenever the entry that I've taken, and it starts, the first trade I took in the beginning of the year was January 16th. So this is from January 16th until this weekend. And when you guys ask me, like, what's your favorite days to trade? Why don't you trade certain days? Why do you trade certain other days? So I'll tell you right now, my journal has spoken. My journal has spoken. And this is why I don't look for trades early in the week. And if you can kind of see, these are the 2 days that I just massively kill. So I'll tell you right now, I honestly, I'm not even wasting my time Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays anymore. I'll do my journals, I'll do my markups, I'll start tracking trades. But this right here just kind of solidifies everything for me. Why waste hours and hours and hours and time and money trying to catch trades that over the last 5 months has told me, it's not even worth the time. So Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays from here on out is what I'm just going to start tackling. And if you look, I haven't taken a loss on a Thursday or Friday yet. Right. So, I'm just going to do that. I would definitely encourage you, if you have if you have it on your journal, to go back and just, give it a shot. Take a look and see where you are most profitable. I mean, listen, everyone trades differently, so you don't necessarily need to, listen to listen, this is my journal, this is my trading plan, so yeah, I said at the beginning of the year, I was going to be very patient this year. I wanted to wait on trades to come to me and not try to play ping pong, not try to, sell down to my buy area or buy up to my sell area. So yeah, uh, it's funny. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I still don't trade Fridays. I'll tell you right now, like if I'm not in a position by, I would say like equities open at 9:30, I'm done. I'm done for the week. I mean, and this is, if you look at it, this is honestly, I wake up for London crossover. So I wake up on Fridays around like 4:35 a.m. Eastern. Um, and then I'm kind of done trading by, I mean, most of you guys know, like I'm doing my journals around 9:30, 10. So if I'm not in a position by like 9:30, 10, I'm done. So yeah. And then I just kind of do my thing. Yeah. There you go, Sango. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is all a 1/4% risk. So, and sometimes it's an 1/8 of a percent risk. So yeah, all of this is either a 0.25% risk or a 125% risk, so, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, kind of, if this gives you guys some insight into like my thought process. I mean, definitely, like I said, go through and look at yours. It didn't take me long. Honestly, I just went down my list, looked at the date of entry, matched it to the calendar, and created just the formula based off of that. So um yeah, yeah, the R is pretty good. It ain't too shabby, man. It ain't too shabby. So, all right. So that being said, let's go through it. Can I share the template? Um, you would have to yeah, you'd have to have it like already set up. All it is just an Excel spreadsheet that I did. So yeah, I don't have a blank one anymore of it. Like it was shared in the Aporia group months ago, in the public group. And I mean, it's still probably under the education section in there somewhere. I mean, I've kind of like updated stuff that I wanted to tailor it to, but yeah. All right. So anyway, going back to Chef JPY, I've hit 500 pips in profit on it. My partial out area was 122,500. So it's sitting at, I don't know, it's getting close to my all-time high. I think it's at a 1 to 250, if I remember correctly. It's at a 1 to 250 right now, or it was when it was up at that high. So 1 to 287 is my all-time high that I've ever caught. So I'm holding a 1/4% volume left on this. Nothing's telling me to close out. So, going forward, what am I looking for on Chef JPY? I mean, again, we're still maintaining lower time frame structure. So you can kind of see what's going on. We had this move right here. We had this distribution turned reaccumulation, right? So this was a distribution right here, that ultimately turned into a reaccumulation last week. There's your creek, right? So just remember, right? Creek plus a break of structure is a reaccumulation. All right. You don't have to overcomplicate it. And, what I wanted to see was, I wanted to see price come back into the accumulation portion, which it did right here. And ultimately it did give an accumulation, right? You can kind of see the accumulation right here. When was this? This was yesterday. Yeah. So yesterday, New York session, you've got your accumulation that printed right in here. All right. Um, I personally didn't get into trades. I didn't even open up I mean, most of you guys there in the US know, yes, yesterday was a pretty big holiday. So I honestly didn't even open up my trading view. I didn't do anything yesterday, chart related. So we did have a really nice accumulation. The accumulation did end up, right, breaking structure. So, ultimately we had, this was the confirmation for the entry. Price did in here, give an entry off of this candle. I haven't honestly gone back and looked at it, but I could just see that that was the entry. And then from there, it gave a higher move up. So I'm personally not looking for a re-entry on on Chef JPY. At this point, I'm not going to play order flow on it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit here and wait for us to make a new high. You know, if we make a new high here, if we do something like that, and let's just say that we give an accumulation, right, a reaccumulation here, I'll look for that re-entry once we break that high. All right. You know, it's just going to be, I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'll just be patient with it. You know, just like I did down here off that one that's at 1 to 250. Yeah, we'll take a look at AU as well, bro. We'll look at you. Yeah, we'll look at AU as well. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, so yeah, but for right now, I mean, I'm not interested in trying to catch anything at this moment. I'm gonna just wait. You know, if we get that new high, right? Get that new high up here. Whatever the cause of that high was, that's where I'll be looking, and then from there, you know, we already can see that this was the mitigation of what happened to the left. So that's how I'm going to play it. All right. Going on to EJ. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Where Sango, Sango, they did you dirty this morning, bro. They wanted to know, do you still keep alerts on EJ when it makes a new high? All right. So EJ, from the position from, what was it, like 2 months ago now, March 25th, the position from way down here is creeping up on 600 pips. So it's at, what did it get today? It got up to 566. So it's almost at 600 pips. Remember, I have been saying that I want 136. 136 is where ideally I want to see this bad boy get up to. Okay. And we're almost there. All right. We're almost there. From last week's entry, hopefully everybody was able to capitalize on this entry from last week. Actually, here, hold on. Let me pull up my chart. So I actually shared this. If you guys were on like Zach McDonald's Go Live session, those of you guys in IM, I shared this. I also shared this in the group chat. I shared this a bunch of places. So I was looking for EJ. Where is it at? So yeah, here you go. So this was, so this is the chart that, all right, hold on. Let me go back to actual size. There we go. So this is the chart I was looking on for EJ for entry, right? I mean, it was pretty self-explanatory. I know a lot of people were looking at this as well. You know, we had a distribution, right? Distribution was completed, turned into a massive reaccumulation with multiple accumulations down here. This was the reaccumulation that caused the break above here. So slingshot area, extreme area of the lower time frame. So you could see I wanted accumulation here. This was the 26th is what we were looking at, right? So moving forward, what do we get in there? Well, we got, if you just go into replay mode, this was Thursday, I believe. Thursday London session gave a really nice entry. You could see we're in the slingshot area, and here she was, right? Here was the entry. All right. Ideally, what I was looking at, you can see the 1 minute imbalance in here, which kind of gave one of the confirmations I wanted to see. It was also 80% of the 2 minute candle. That was another thing that I was looking at, and you know, it was just a really good entry. Now, the one thing that I will say, if you went to the line chart, because for me, it did not close. There was not a candle that broke above the wick, but if you went to the line chart, it did break. So in this instance, this is one that from my personal confirmation, I would have reduced my risk on it. I would have put half of my normal risk simply because we didn't break with the candle like I wanted to. But yeah, so this was a really nice trade. It did get up to, because we did a back test. What did we do? We did a back test on Thursday with it. Currency.com, I think, is what we did. Yeah. So you could see we back tested it. We ran either whether you took an entry just off of the slingshot area or you did it off of here. There was some massive partials. I mean, I'm trying to see, didn't I thought I had just a full, oh yeah, here it is right here. Yeah. So, we secured a total of, 4.5% on that entry. It was a total of 1 to 45, which was a really nice play. So lots of really nice entries on it. What are your thoughts on only trading at a specific time of the day? I mean, I typically do. I don't wake up for London. I definitely don't trade Sydney session. And, Asian session, um, Asian, I'm not a fan of Asian session. So I'm a New York trader, so, uh, what would you suggest, FTMO or funding talent? Honestly, I would just compare both of them. I personally, if I were to give you my opinion right now, neither of them. There's some better ones out there. Just in my opinion, now it's up to you how you trade. Again, for me, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest. So it is what it is. But now off of this entry here, just to kind of give you guys, if you did catch this entry and you did take partials at the area that we were looking at, which was this high up here, which was 134. So if you got up to 134, you were sitting at a 1 to 143 R to R. And if you took it up to the current high, it's at, what is it, a 1 to 167? Yeah, 1 to 167. So, yeah, it was a really nice thing. Prop trading. Yeah. I mean, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, correctly structure. You have trouble identifying correct structure. Yeah, I mean, I guess the structure is the hardest thing. I'll be honest. Like structure is the hardest thing to learn because a lot of people have been taught structure wrong. So, I would definitely, just pay attention to how like I go through structure. Understand that it's a legs, not the highs and lows, but it's the legs. All right. Yeah, yeah. I'll be honest. I am I am probably most definitely 99.999% positive that once I get done with volleyball season and my summer vacation, because I'm going to be gone for like 2 weeks in July for vacation. Um, I already told Harry that I'm gonna jump on his prop firm, and I'll just trade the prop trading, and I'll trade Harry's prop firm. So I'm not going to trade FTMO. It's just one, it's going to be too much to manage all those accounts plus my personal. So yeah. Can you tell me what would you suggest? Yeah, look at Sango's post there. Sango's the resident prop trading guru, savant. That's what we're calling him. All right. We're going to call him the director of funding operations, the DFO. All right. Um, yeah. Yeah. GA. Yeah. I think I know what you're looking for. GA. Yeah. I got the same, bro. I got the same. We're going to get into that, man. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So anyhow, back to EJ. It is, those of you guys that did catch it, it's moving phenomenally. I like it. Again, my target's 136 on it. And just looking at where structure is now, right? Because we've now made a new leg high. Okay. Essentially, this is what we're looking at, right? This is the low. This is our high, right? This is our new leg on the lower time frame. Okay. I know many of you are probably looking at this as a distribution. Listen, my journal has told me stop counter trend trading. So if you guys want to trade if you guys want to trade the distro, go ahead for it. I would just ask you to look back at all the distributions that EJ has done over the last 3 months, and how profitable would you have been if you would have just not traded the distro? What I'm going to be looking for is, ideally, I'm looking into this area right here, this candle, more importantly, the 30-minute, right? This 30-minute candle is what I want to play into. Ideally, I would have taken an entry off of it right off the reaccumulation confirmation. But now that we're kind of up in this distro, I'm just going to wait for an accumulation anywhere in this box. All right, that's where I'm going to be looking. So ideally, if we get below like 133,400, actually, I'm going to move my alert up there. We get up around like 133,400. That's when I'm going to start paying attention lower time frame and looking for just compression, a nice accumulation to take this sucker back up. All right. Now, there is another way that I will get into this trade, and it's going to be via this distribution, right? If we go ahead and we start maybe do something like this and then confirm that push in the break, right? What do we have? We have a creek and we have a break of structure, which what equals a reaccumulation, right? A reaccumulation. So we get that break. However, whatever accumulation occurs in here is where I'm going to take out of. I'm going to go ahead and set the limit and then play up from there. So those are the only two ways I'm going to get into EJ. All right. It's going to be via the reaccumulation that occurs here or an accumulation down here. All right. All right. Hold on. How do you know when to look for a schematic versus placing a limit order? Yeah, honestly, that answer is very convoluted. It's I'll tell you the way I know is all the back testing and all of the experience that I've had in the last year and a half of trading like this kind of tells me, I don't have a set rule. It kind of just, there's a lot of gray area. So it's hard to explain. That would probably take like a 5-hour video to explain all of that. I can just tell you that if we're in current price action and I get the schematic, I typically will set the limit and play off of that. If price has left the area and I'm now waiting for a new continuation, I'll need to wait for a new schematic. So something along those lines. All right. Can you give someone who understands the concept and everything but struggles with consistency? Yeah. So here's just my 2 cents, right? If you understand Wyckoff, you understand smart money, you understand schematics, get yourself a demo account, get yourself a journal, and be honest to your journal. Right. And what I would suggest is take every trade that you see on that demo account. I don't care if it's Sydney session, Asian, London, New York, put it into your journal. Do that for 30, 60 days, get the analytical data from that journal. And that is going to tell you, right? That is going to tell you exactly how to be consistent. It's going to tell you what to avoid, what sessions to avoid. It's going to tell you what kind of schematics to avoid, right? Everybody in here that has seen my journal, you guys know that what? New York session, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, type 1 schematics are where I make my money. All right. So if I see like today, this morning, I think we were looking at like 2 or 3 type 2 schematics, right? What did I say? I'm not interested, right? Because I know that I don't trade well on a Tuesday morning. I sure as heck don't trade well on a Tuesday morning with a type 2 schematic. So it's all about consistency. It's not about how many trades you take, right? So that's the one thing I would suggest. Get yourself a demo account or paper trade it. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys know this, but you guys can come to TradingView right here. You can log in and you can connect a paper trading account where you could just take the trades right off of here. Obviously there's no spread involved, so it's going to kind of defeat a little bit of it, but get yourself the information that's going to make you create your trading plan. All right. That's the one advice I'd give you. What would be your biggest piece of advice when trying to become a funded trader? So before you become a funded trader, you got to be a consistent trader. All right. If you haven't for, a while consistently made 10% profit a month, how are you going to make it under pressure, trading for somebody else? So, definitely a lot of that is done in the demo room, right? In practice, you gotta be a consistent trader on that end, and then do it. I'll tell you this, the students that I mentor, I tell them before you pop the gun and get out there and start, trying to pass challenges, make sure you can pass a couple free trials first. All right. Awesome. Yep. Can you share with us a tip to quickly find out a reaccumulation or redistro? Yeah. So all a reaccumulation all a reaccumulation is a failed distribution. So find the distro, wait for it to fail, confirm. Again, there's only 2 things that need to happen in a confirmation for a reaccumulation, right? Jump of a creek, break of structure. a redistro, break through the ice, break of structure. All right. So cool. Hopefully I got through all that. Perfect. All right. So back to EJ, right? Back to EJ. Again, the only two ways that I'm going to be getting into this trade, right? Let this reaccumulation happen. All right. So in this case, what I would need, we already have, in my opinion, we already have the distro in play. So if Asian session does something like this, right, and comes down here to give me an accumulation, right, I will play that accumulation here. And when we confirm this creek and the break of structure here, right, I would probably be looking for partials up here. I would take partials and then prepare for price to come back down to mitigate out of this. That would be my second entry. Okay. So that's my play for EJ. Again, 136 is my target, right? 136. So getting over to, do I teach Wyckoff? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say like I teach it. Like I try to give my best understanding of it. Yeah. How do you classify a pullback as valid? I mean, I guess the easy answer to that is it's created a new leg high. So if you've created a new leg, you know that pullback was valid. All right. Before we get into EU here, I just want to cover this. Let's cover DXY. So I had a long conversation with somebody about DXY. So I'm sure everybody is seeing. I'm sure everybody's seeing this accumulation on DXY, right? We have our trading range, right? So you have a SC, you have an ST, you have an ST, you have another ST, right? So everyone is seeing this accumulation. I would just caution you. And now, you know, obviously I'm not going to predict what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I can only just see what the chart's doing. I would definitely I would say just zoom out, right? Just zoom out, right? We talked about, everyone should know that in the weekly, we are in distribution. But where this accumulation occurred, it invalidated demand, right? It traded below this accumulation here. All right. And yes, we do have this accumulation down here, but I'll tell you right now, just pay attention to what the hell this thing's been doing. Right. So, you know, let the story, you know, just look at what the story is telling you. The story is telling you that we had a accumulation that failed, turned into a redistribution. Price ends up making a new leg down. We come up and we mitigate out of the 3-day candle, right? If you look at just the past 3 weeks of streams, you'll know that this is the 3-day candle. We come right into the open of it, mitigate out. So essentially this accumulation into this reaccumulation did what? Absolutely nothing. It did nothing. It broke no structure. It did nothing. More importantly, how many damn failed accumulations are we going to get? And I stopped calling them redistros because I think failed accumulations just really tell the story. And this one here, I'm pretty confident I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. We're going to be down here. So I'm pretty convinced that dollar is going to $80 or to 80.5, like 80.2. I think that's where we're going. All right. And why do I think that's where we're going? Just like I said, pop up to the weekly, right? This is where we're coming down here. Why? Well, because we're in that distribution, right? The distribution created that MSAL. That MSAL came up, another distribution which mitigated out of this supply point, and now we're just looking for the next leg down, right? That's essentially what I'm looking at for the dollar index. Let's see. All that previous upward action would be a complex pullback. All that previous upward action. Yeah. You talking about this, Matt? You're talking about all of this? Yeah, that's just the pullback. Yep. Yeah, it's just a pullback into the 3-day, right? That's all it was right here into the 3-day. That's all she was, just a pullback, right? You know, we haven't broken the legs, right? Because if you look at it from the leg point of view, we had the push down, we had the push up, push down, right? So what's next? The push down. All right. So that's my piece with dollar index. All right. You know, so now let's look at EU. So last week I was talking about how I was bullish on everything against the dollar. And Friday did not disappoint. I'm expecting this high up here to get taken. All right. I mean, just look at how bullish we've been, right? I mean, there's no reason, and you could see I do have the distro marked out, right? I do have this distro marked out. Just keep in mind, right? Keep in mind how this distro is being formed. Okay. Because realistically, what do we have, right? Well, we have a leg here to here, right? To here, to here, to here, right? This is still what is maintaining lower time frame structure for me. All right. Outside of that, all right, outside of that, how do we create this, right? We have 1, 2, 3 drives, right? We do have the MSOW here, right? We do have a major sign of weakness. So actually here, let me mark this out. We have the MSOW, all right? We do have an MSOW. Okay. But can anybody see why I feel like this is just going to turn into a massive reaccumulation? Does anyone see it? How about this? Ready? So everyone could see this nice 4-hour candle, right? Right? So yeah, we had a jack, right? So let's look at it like this here. I'm just gonna mark it out. So right here's our box, here's our jack, right? Here's our creek, and then here's our accumulation. What normally happens at the bottom end of a reaccumulation? We have a climax, a test, a test, a test. Here's your spring, right? Here's your spring. So, and then shoot, look what's happening here, right? We got another reaccumulation. So I'm pretty convinced we're going to do this. And I would love to catch an entry out of this 4-hour candle right here to go higher. All right. The fact that we were supposed to be in a distribution, and yes, don't get blinded, right? Don't get blinded by this small little break right here, because we are so massively bullish. What do? In the break, we created an accumulation, right? Here's your accumulation right here. So distro into an accumulation. We have the jack. We're just waiting on the break of structure. We get that break of structure, and you can see I already got my alert here, right? I'm ready to play ball once that break happens. And then it's just a waiting game. Let this bad boy come back in here. Okay. Does that make sense? Do you guys see, how I'm looking at that? I mean, I really like this 4-hour candle. I ain't gonna lie. This 4-hour candle to me is money. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and wait, and I haven't done the work into it yet. I mean, we can what are we looking at? Like the 4-hour here. Hold on. What are we seeing? No, there's no way I'm taking a 30 pip stop. There's no way I'm taking a 14. Yeah. So we'll see. I may end up just having to wait for the accumulation. Bro. Oh, Andy, bro. Yep. I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Where you at? I like it, bro. I like it. I like it. Good job, man. Good job. Yeah, I'm not playing it though. I'm not playing it. Yeah. So, AU, listen, I'm still holding what I got from this accumulation down here. Where's she at? Yeah. I'm still holding from this accumulation down here from the middle of May. You could see I've secured 3 partials. The one partial I secured when we made up here at 122,600 is at a 1 to 140. Hold on. Bear with me here. Sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. My wife's texting me something real quick. I gotta. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, good job. Good job. Yeah. No, I got to answer those. So anyway, yeah, this play is still, it's still a nice little play. I enjoy it. Let me. All right, cool. So I am going to be looking for that reaccumulation to happen. All right. So the distro here, I'm expecting to ultimately just be phased out. And yeah, out of this accumulation here, I want to see what happens. All right. I want to see how she plays out. So EU, I've got the alert set up here, new high. We break that new high. And, obviously I want to come into this 4-hour candle. That's where I'm going to be probably waiting for a schematic just because of the stop loss. Right. I mean, even off of the 80%. And I didn't really look in here, but hold on. What happened in here? Oh, you know what? This was New York session. This is that accumulation that happened Friday. Yeah. GU, NU, AU are a whole lot cleaner than this. So yeah, a whole lot cleaner than that. So I may end up just waiting for the schematic just because I'm not going to sit here on a 15 pip stop for EU. Right. Because from the 80% of that 4-hour candle to the low is 14.9 pips. That ain't going to happen. Yeah. So, but EU, that's obviously what I'm waiting on. All right. And I'm pretty convinced that that's what we're going to get. So do I always wait for a schematic to get at least 10 pip stop? It all depends on the pair. Ideally I like anything under a 6 pip stop. Yeah, I'm not a fan of eating up margin on a 15, 20 pip, 12 pip. I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes if I'm going to be going to bed and I'm going to be asleep during London session and we're going to come into the extreme and it's a 12 pip stop, it is what it is. I'd rather be up a 1 to 5 and be in the play than be up a 0 to 14 because I wanted to get the tight entry. So it kind of it's entirely up to how it plays out. All right. So that's Euro USD. All right. That was Euro. And again, I'm still looking for upside, right? Where are my targets on Euro USD? Well, listen, we're almost there. We're right at the cusp of breaking this high. And when we break that high, that will then become this is the higher time frame point of interest that maintains structure. So ideally, I want to take this higher, and now we've got a new leg, right? We've got a new leg. If you look over on the weekly, if you look over on the left, you could see where I want to come into, right? I'd really like to see, us get around like the 125 area. So it's about 300 pips, but I'm pretty convinced that this is just going to get taken out. All right. That's how I'm looking at it. And ideally, if you kind of just watch what's going on, we're potentially maybe even going to see maybe something like this, right? Something like that, like a reaccumulation out of it. So, who knows? I'm just going to kind of play it out. What's my vision on GA? I'm bullish on it. So I've been bullish on it all year. All right. Going into pound Swiss franc. I don't know how many of you guys caught this last week, Thursday, London session. Fantastic entry. It's actually in the area where I wanted to see an accumulation happen now. Yeah, it is what it is. We'll see if maybe we can, if I at least can find an entry London crossover early, in a little bit. Just from a weekly perspective, I've been bullish on this. You can kind of see what's going on here, right? You have your schematic, right? We have a climax, a bunch of tests, a test, and then you have your spring, right? Out of the spring, we have a reaccumulation. So ideally, I want to see if we can get some upward motion, come back down to go higher, something like that, off the higher time frame, right? Ideally, we came into a really nice point of interest. You could see the schematic. I think it's the 1 hour, right? Yeah. You could see the schematic here. So this is what I was looking at here. Again, part of training your eye is seeing the schematic. Everyone should be able to see here the type 1 schematic trading range, spring candle right here. right? This was the entry right in here. So this was, you know, your 1, 2, 3 drives. Price comes in, and at this point, it gave a really nice schematic. I was willing to take that entry. Obviously, we broke the high, and we either had two options. We were either going to come and create a spring, or we confirm the type 2 with the sign of strength, right? So ultimately, where that entry was just a really clean entry. If you come over here, just go over to like the 5-minute, you'll see what we had, right? We had fractal schematics. We had we had our trading range right here coming across, a bunch of just secondary tests, and then finally we get the spring, right? Finally we get the spring, and then inside the spring, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. There's your spring candle, right? So without even going on the 1 minute, you should be able to see that 1 minute schematic, which encompassed the spring. All right. Here's what it looked like in the 1 minute. All right. Here's your schematic right in here. All right. This is now would I have taken this entry if it was like during a session time where I was actually awake. I probably would have caught that on the seconds time frame. But ultimately, where's the best entry? You know, so look for the spring candle, right? I always talk about the most voluminous candle. Look for the spring candle, and in my case, it was the 10-minute. All right, so this is where my entry was off of this 10-minute candle right here. So when I took it, I was looking 10-minute candle, 50% of that 10-minute candle, and this was the entry I caught right here. Okay, that was the entry. And it was only because we finally get the break above that candle right here. So all of this was just a bunch of noise. You know, when you get back down to the 5-minute, you could see, I thought I had it in here, but yeah. So this was the test right here. This was the test, gave a really nice entry. Do you market execute when using? No, I don't market execute. Heck no. Yeah, I want to get filled. I want to get filled on the exact price point. You market execute, you may get that half a second may give you a really bad entry price. What made you choose the 50%? Well, because honestly the 50% was when we had this schematic here and we had a reaccumulation, that 50% lined up pretty nicely in here. So we didn't really need to come down lower. There was no imbalance. There was nothing. I mean, look at the 1 minute. You know, you've got even trading going on in here. My key thing is I wanted, when we broke this high, right? So when we broke it here, I wanted price to come back into 50% of the move. So that was the play. You know, it was a really nice play. Yeah, and the stop loss wasn't too bad. I mean, from the low to 50% was only 5 pips, so it was worth it. Yeah, are you looking for the candle that makes up the entire spring? Yeah. Yep, I am. Okay, my bad. All right. Yeah. No, absolutely, bro. Yeah. It was. I mean, you can't go wrong. Pound. I mean, and it pushed. I mean, from that entry, I mean, you can kind of see what she did. She ended up. I mean, heck, where's the? So she ended up going for a ways. I mean, it was 100-something pips. So you could see it ended up going 140 pips, so 1 to 27 at the most. I actually took, so when we broke this high right here at 127.90 is where I took my partials. So took 127.90. You know, it was a 1 to 25 is what I was at. And now, you know, now I'm just waiting in here. You can kind of see the reason. The reason is because this is the accumulation, right? This is that reaccumulation that caused the break. So I wanted to see an accumulation happen in here, and here we go. Here's our accumulation so far. So we've got our 3 drives going on right now, and at this point, it's just a wait and see game. You know, you've got. Come on, hold on. Bear with me here. All right, so we have, there you go. All right, so we have our climax. And we'll move that over like that. So we have our climax to a automatic rally. Right. We have our secondary test right here. Secondary test creates what? A UA. UA then pushes back down for another secondary test. So that's where we're at. Right. That's where we're at. So ideally, what I want to do is I'd love to get a spring because that gives me the type 1, which I'm very, very, very more profitable with. So set my alert for the spring. If we get the spring, wait for the break of structure. If not, confirm off the type 2. Right. But right now, that's where it's at. You know, ideally, I'd want to wait for London into New York. Let's see. So I set a limit at 50 and another 80. It all depends. Yeah, it all depends. Sometimes I'll go all in on a 50. Sometimes I go all in on 80. Sometimes I split it. It's like I said, it's very hard to explain when I do it. It's all built on confluence, right? The more reasons that I want to take that entry, so for me, when I go into my confirmations, right, if that 50% has more of these checks, right, than the 80, then I just go off the 50. If it's got more confluence in the 80%, then I'm going to go into the 80. Sometimes I'll go ahead and split because it's either the difference between 50 and 80 may be either too big of a price point difference, or it may be too close that I'm just going to split it. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. I can say, what got me to make the decision, and for me, it's not something I have to ponder or think about very often, for very long. Like the minute I see the chart, I know exactly what my course of action is going to be. And again, that all comes from back testing. That comes from the long hours sitting there back testing thousands of charts, thousands of pairs. Like when I do my back testing session with my group, I mean, you guys can definitely see, right? Like there's not a lot of deep thought that goes into it. It's more reactive, right? Because I've just seen it so many times that I know exactly how I'm going to play it. So, and that's what you want to be at. You want to get to the point where you've seen the move so many times and you understand exactly, how you're going to play it because you've seen it play out so many times. All right. Is the break of structure always break? No. Break of structure just follows structure, right? Follow structure. So, in this case here, right? In this case here, and I'll just put it to you this way, right? If we're going to confirm, say we don't get a spring, right? Where's our structure point? What needs to break? So Josh, back testing, if you just dive into all those training videos that you have, every session that we do is a back test. So like you just keep watching them and just participate on our Thursday sessions, man. Participate in there, and that's exactly how you back test from start to finish. How we manage the trade, how we find our points of interest, how we get the entries, how we take partials, where how we're going to hedge in. So that's all in there. All right. Trade confirmations. Yeah, man. Here, hold on. I'll throw them in the chat, man. I'll throw them in the chat. So here, there you go. There you go. And here, I'll throw them on here too. So these are my trade confirmations. There you go. All right. What are your thoughts on focusing on multiple income streams at once? I'm unsure if I should put some time and energy into cryptos, marketing, or just put all of them into charts at the moment. Well, I mean, I'm pretty invested in cryptos. I'm pretty invested in stocks. I mean, definitely you want to diversify, there ain't nothing wrong with having multiple streams. So yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. So anyway, going back to Chef JPY, right? What's, you know, what structure needs to be broken? Like at what point, where is our break of structure on this, on pound CHF? The UA, are you sure? Because this is, I think that this is where I think a lot of people kind of fall into if we get a spring, yes. If we get a spring, you're absolutely right. Right? If we get a spring. So, and he's absolutely correct, right? Because if we get the spring, right, this would become the new low, and this is the previous low, which means just connect your dots. This is what we need to get broken, right? But if we don't get a spring, right? If we don't get a spring, what's the break of structure? Anybody? I want to see if you guys can work it out. Above the UA 127. Yeah, exactly, bro. You got it, bro. 127 400. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, right here. You got it, bro. Yep. This is the break, right? Exactly. This right here. This is the break. This is going to be the break of structure, right? Because all this is order flow, right? This is all order flow, you know? And if you guys haven't, if you guys haven't seen it, where is it at? Hold on. If you guys haven't seen it, right? Here is my 3 keys to success, right? Structure, supply and demand, cause and effect, and coming in at 457 is order flow. All right. So don't get trapped with that order flow crap. Trust me. I mean, listen, if it works for you, it works for you. If you guys are profitable with order flow, then great. But just don't kid yourself. Don't think that, yeah, you've caught 1 or 2, order flow entries and now you're doing great. But you look back and you've caught 2 entries that gave you a 1 to 20, but you've lost 500 trades in between that, So yeah. So just keep that in mind. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You got it, Henry. Yeah. This right up here, bro. This right up here, man. Yep. So, so on the type 2, yeah, for a type 2, I mean, for me, right? For me, I need 2 things. I need a break of structure and I need an exit of the trading range, which is equal to a sign of strength, right? It's just not a break of structure for me because, I need to see that sign of strength. And in this case, if we do break this high, right, that would suffice both. Okay. What do you think about 126, 129 on 126, 129? 126, 129. What about it? Yeah. 126, 120 down here. I mean, it's at this point, it would still be valid, but just keep in mind what's going on, right? We have, if you go to like the 4-hour, right? Like, what do we have happening? Can price come down here? It can, but why would you want to when we're having an accumulation here? So if you're having an accumulation here, do you want this to turn into a redistro? And then your thought is, oh, okay, we just did a massive redistribution and it's gonna accumulate here. I mean, at this point, this is what they've already dealt the cards. I don't want it to trade below here. If it trades below here, then I need to see one massively gorgeous looking accumulation schematic for me to get into this thing, right? So yeah. That's my thought on that. Will you let me on your team? Just message me like on Instagram or somewhere or Discord. I'll kind of give you some info on it. All right. Yeah. So pound Swissy, like I said, I mean, just going back to it. I'm going to be looking. I really want the spring, right? Get the spring, and just keep in mind how long we've been doing this, right? This is a 15-minute schematic. This thing has taken all of New York session. So, I mean, we're now on 9 hours and counting. So, realistically, this is going to be another 6 to 8 hours before it even confirms a potential entry for me. All right. GU. Now, GU is another one that I'm looking at. GU gave a really nice entry on Friday. I was looking, you can kind of see what happened, right? Same thing. We had where is she at? I know a lot of people were looking at this as a distribution, right? I don't even have the distro marked off because I was never looking at it as a distro, but you have your 1, 2, 3 drives, right? And price did what? It broke lower time frame structure. So I'm sure everybody was trying to sell out of here, or I guess if you were trying to sell out of here, you ended up hitting stop loss. I had no desire to try to sell this. I'm not counter trend trading this at all. You look at the higher time frame. Nothing about this price action is telling me to sell, right? Everything about this price action is telling me that we're taking this high up here. So Friday morning was actually a really nice entry. We came in to the slingshot area, right? We came into the slingshot area that caused the break. And if you go in here, you'll be able to see on the 1 minute. If you didn't have the seconds time frame, it kind of didn't look the cleanest, right? You could kind of see what it's doing, right? You could kind of see what it was doing, right? I don't know if you could see the schematic in here, but I'll just give you like my opinion on this, right? My opinion was that if you go down to like the 15-second, now look how clean the schematic was. And the key for me was how every time we made a secondary test, we came up and tested the top of the range and then finally gave the spring. So I took it off of 50% of the 15 and 30-second candle. Really clean entry. You could see came right in, popped it in, reduced my risk as soon as I saw the move. And played it off of there. I've taken already, I think, what have I taken? 2 partials. Hold on. I have taken 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've taken 3 partials now. So I'm only holding a quarter of the order. It was at a 1 to 41 at 142,500 is where I took partials at. And, I wanted us to see now an accumulation in this area here. We had a really nice reaction out of this reaccumulation here. All right. So this was mainly the cause of the next push that broke, essentially broke these highs up here. Right. I was looking for an accumulation earlier out of here, never really gave us anything. So now where we're at, and Andy posted, a chart. Were you on the 1 minute, bro? I think you're on the 1 minute, right? Yeah. Andy's in this right now off the 1 minute. I personally have no desire to get into it during Asian session. Again, Tuesdays, I don't really catch a lot, so I'm not interested in it. I will keep an eye on this because tomorrow morning, if we start to see a distribution maybe up here, right? So if this ends up working out, coming up here, maybe a distribution, right? I'll play off the reaccumulation entry. I'll play the continuation move. So one of the things I've learned is I don't need to be the first one at the party or at the dance, right? I can jump in and just pick up from where everybody else is leaving off on. You just saw the order block. Yeah. All right, no worries, bro. I love it. The 1 minute order block. I know, bro. I know. It is what it is. Let's see. Consider this a valid accumulation on GU. Would I consider this a valid, hold on. Do you have like okay, so you were looking at it to come in here, which it did. All right, cool. So you have 1, 2, 3. Let me look, hold on. So was this, what price point was this at? This was the 7 minute. This is, okay, so this is like 9 o'clock. All right, so this was this morning, right? Oh, okay, yeah. So you're talking right here. Right? And this was your spring? Yep, okay. So we were looking at this morning. Do you guys remember why we didn't take this? I mean, I know we were looking at it. I want to say I didn't take it. Why didn't I take it? I mean, I think I just didn't take it because it was Tuesday morning and I was in no rush to get into a trade, to be honest. let's just break it up. Hold on. Let's take a look. So why wouldn't I take it? Yeah, I didn't like the price action. Is that what it was? No, it did, because if so, structure wise, you're fine, right? Because this was the low, this is the previous low, and it broke, right? It broke. So you're fine. You're good with that. I didn't like this, I think, right? Yeah, I didn't like the price action. That's what it was. So I think what happened was when we were down here, because I was doing a Zoom with some of the guys I trade with, we were doing that. And when we were looking, yeah, the wicks, yeah, wicks are a break of structure, bro. Absolutely, man. It's a price point. Um, yeah, I think what I was looking at here. Hold on, let me just see. I'll screenshot. Let me go to my screenshots real quick. What I was looking at this morning. Bear with me, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Let me look at GU. So looking at NAS, was looking at. Yeah. So I was looking at we were looking at the 59-minute. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here, hold on. I will share. So here, I will share my screenshots from this morning. So at 9:40 Eastern this morning, this is what I was looking at. You could see I was looking at the 59-minute candle, and we did break it. So I was looking at like 80% of the 59-minute. So I was in here looking at it. And then you can kind of see, I saw this. Oh, that's what it was. So I saw this accumulation down in here, and I just really didn't like it. So I had said that I wanted a lower time frame schematic in here, maybe even like a 30-second one. I would have taken it off the 30-second. No, I mean, this was fine. This is a clean break of structure. I just didn't like this. I didn't like this price action. Yeah, that's what I was looking at on GU. Yeah, because this was 9:44 in the morning this morning. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to see the schematic, and we just didn't get it. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, we didn't get it. We came in. How did we come in? Let me just see. Did it give anything coming in? Let's just see. At what point would I have looked for it? Oh, okay. All right. That's what it is. So at this point, we're already in lunchtime. It's past 12 o'clock for me. So I was off the charts. I wasn't even looking at this anymore. So I would have, I mean, I was looking, what I say, the 59-minute? I was looking at the 59-minute. Yeah, I was looking at the 59-minute candle. And I mean, by the time we got down in here, like I was done already looking. Like I'm not, I told myself I'm not forcing anything. So yeah. And ultimately at this point here, it's already almost going 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So yeah, that's what it was. It was just time of day. I mean, you did have a schematic, just, for me, I wanted a new schematic down here. I wanted a new schematic down here once we got into this, just because of how dismal this was. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. Which was the small reaccumulation? Henry, on which one, bro? My bad. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, now again, where are we currently? Yeah, we're here. We're in the area that I would be looking at. Yeah, we're in the area I'd be looking at. So, I'm curious to see what she does. Yeah, I mean, we do have a nice little thing here. So, all right. So that's GU, and then of course NU was the banger trade, man. NU was the flipping trade. So again, I mean, bullish on it. I'm still holding this position from the middle of May, where we came into the extreme, right, of the reaccumulation. This thing is up a couple, I think 140, 130 pips now. But what do we get, right? Well, we got this break, right? This was the high, and we got that break, which meant this is what was maintaining structure. Well, how did we get there? Out of this reaccumulation, which is the slingshot, right? So when price came into the slingshot on Friday morning, this is where I was kind of paying attention to what happened, and, I know a couple people tagged me in this. They caught it. Great job. Here you are, right? Here's your schematic. Nothing wrong with this schematic. right? Everyone can see 1, 2, 3 drives. You get your spring, right? You got your spring. From the spring, what did it do? Broke structure, right? If this is your low, this is your previous low. Just connect the dots. That's your break of structure. So you could see the reason I took it off of, I started with the 17-minute, right? 17-minute candle is the one I liked. You could see, where is she? Yeah, right here. So 17-minute candle, full volume candle, came into 80%. It was also 50% of the 11-minute candle. And if you go to the 8-minute, you can see the imbalance fill, right? See that imbalance right here? Mitigated the imbalance, go to the 7, mitigated the imbalance, go to the 6, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, right? The only thing it did, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't do the 2, but, and those, for the 1-minute order block guys, right? The 1-minute order block guys, you guys are in massive profits because you were able to catch that 1-minute order block, There it is right there. Look at that. Look at that. So, but yeah, 50%, this is where I was taking it all day. So again, this was a 5-pip stop loss, wasn't anything crazy, but it was a really nice trade. I did take some partials out of it. This was Friday, New York session, and I think it secured 2 partials. What did I secure? I secured 1. Oh, okay. I've only taken 1 partial. So I've only taken 1 partial on it. So I'm holding 3/4 volume. And you could kind of see what I was looking at here. We're starting to see the distro here. The GU to the left broke small demand, hence why we are going to lower. Yeah. Exactly, bro. Yeah, so I was looking this morning into this schematic here, but it just kind of fell apart. You could kind of see what it's doing. And this is just typical New York stuff, right? You can see the type 4. We had a type 4 over here. And you also had a type 1, right? You also had a type 1 right here. So, you had your 1, 2, 3 drives, and this is your spring. If this is your low, this is the high that I need to break. And we just never broke. So, I was looking at it this morning. It just never broke. So I never looked at it again. And, it looks like it's doing something in here, but again, I'm just going to be patient with it and let it do its thing. What's this? What happened? I don't know. What did you write with the arrow? I didn't see it. What's the arrow for? Never saw that. So I'm in the stale. You never saw the break. Oh, oh man. Yeah. Nope. I never took the trade, man, just because we never got the break. We never got the break. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's getting an accumulation in here, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Like maybe like a 5-minute. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of this, bro. Yeah, I'll let this do its thing. Again, like, yeah, I'll let it do its thing. I'm not gonna even play around with it. We'll let it do its thing. All right, so that's kind of what I'm managing right now. Let's dive into like what I'm looking at. So, bro, UCAD, I'm not even going to play UCAD. UCAD is, bro, UCAD is never going to come to our trade, bro. So I I'm still looking here. I'm honestly, I think I'm just gonna not even deal with UCAD. I could tell you, for all of you guys that are trying to buy UCAD, how's that going? Because it looks like you get a little bit of an inch and then it just falls apart. Like I'm not interested in trying to counter this anymore. I'm just gonna wait for the sells on these. If we get up to an area where I can get some kind of sell, then great. It does look like it's an accumulation, right? Climax, test. But I'm not interested in trying to buy this at all. So especially with what the dollar's doing, and keep in mind what oil is doing. Oil closed, I think, at $68 today. So, which is, it's starting to rally. I will talk about gold. So I am looking for a gold buy, right? you know, going, let's look here, right? So, you know, I don't think we're ever going to come back down here anytime soon. We did have a really nice reaccumulation here. It sucks that it was just a huge stop loss out of the 277 minute. What is the easiest way to look at structure versus order flow? Order flow is highs and lows. Structure is the legs. So follow the legs, you know. So these are legs, right? These are legs. So when you see this, right? When you see all this, this is structure. That's your leg. All of this is order flow. So order flow changes like the tides, man. You know, if you live near a beach or the ocean, you just draw a line in the sand, and as the tides come in, it just keeps changing. So order flow changes more than that. All right. What schematics do you suggest to print to study? So I mean, I wouldn't honestly, like, I think this is where like I ran into issues in the very beginning. Is this is what I tried to do, right? I tried to Google here. Hold on. Let's see. I tried to do this, right? I tried to take this chart right here. I tried to take this chart. Where's it at? All right. I tried to take this chart and I tried to put it on the TradingView and try to match up the points, right? That's probably the worst thing you can do. All right. Don't look at the chart. Don't look at this. Just know that what do you need? You need a minimum of 3 drives. You need a climax, you need a test, and you need a test. All right. And whether or not you get in phase C, you get a sign of strength would make this the STB, or you get a spring, right? Makes this the STB. You can have 1,000 STs, right? It's the last one that confirms phase C that makes the STB, and then go from there. All right. That's the one bit of advice I'd give you. You know, don't get so reluctant on trying to match all of these things up, you know. So yeah, that'll probably speed up some like the learning curve for you. Did you I'm looking at gold right now, bro. Yeah, I'm looking at gold right now. Yep. So anyway, it sucked that this came into the 277 minute candle. You know, it is what it is. That was the candle. Came right into 50% of it. Nothing I was going to take off of it just because the stop loss was too big, right? But we were looking last week. If you guys were on the stream, I said look for an entry out of this reaccumulation right here. And sure enough, that's where she came. So I know a lot of people did catch this. They took some partials, really good job with it. For me, what's next? Well, we had a distro, right? I'm sure people tried catching the distro here. You know, you were in a little bit of profit and then bye-bye. For me, I was waiting for the reaccumulation all day long. Why was I looking at it? Because you had a distro that led into a reaccumulation. Again, you have a creek. So when you have a jump across the creek plus a break of structure, you get a reaccumulation, right? So for me, you know, I want to see us now mitigate out of, you know, we have our SC, we have an ST, we have an ST, we have a spring, which makes this the STB, right? And then we broke structure, right? We broke structure not only in the accumulation schematic, but on the reaccumulation. So now I want to mitigate out of here. And for me, I'm looking, what is it? I'm looking at the 71-minute candle, right? The most voluminous candle there. And there she is, right? There's our candle. That's what I want to see mitigated. So because the stop loss is going to be massive off that 50%, I kind of want to wait for a schematic in here. So, you know, I'm going to be looking at this, something here, and bye-bye we go. All right. This is where I'm going to be looking out of this particular candle right here. All right. What about it? Is it different? What is it? Is the candle different on something else? That is a little different on forex.com. Let's see. What about a Wanda? I mean, it's still the same. Yeah, I mean, it's still the spring candle. So let's see. What about the 8-minute? What about the 8-minute? Yeah, I mean, that's the push. Yep. That's the push for sure. I mean, that's the candle I want to see it come into. Absolutely. When drawing my fibs, depends. Like you're talking about for like my entry, 15-80%, it's just the candle body. Yeah. Wanda has more wick. Yeah. You know, I mean, let me just see. Yeah, even on this one, I mean, what is this global prime? It's there. It sucks I can't look on my actual MT5 for it. What else we got? I don't even want to look. IDCs look like you're gonna look like trash. Oh, it's the same candle. Yeah. So I mean, either way, I'm not putting a limit just because the stop loss is gonna be too big. So I'm just gonna wait for the schematic. Am I going minute by minute? No, man, I'm not going minute by minute. Just add the candles up, you know? So like if you're on the 30-minute, right? And you're here, so you're like, okay, well, what gave this push, you know? So I know it's going to be at least 2 30-minute candles. So go to the 60-minute, right? Come on. Hold on. So go to the 60-minute. And you're like, all right, well, the 60 minutes, nothing. So, you know, just bounce around, go to the 70-minute, nothing. Go to the 80-minute, nothing, you know, 75, you know, 72. Oh, look, all right, there. So now we got a little body candle. Let's go 73. Nope. 71. Hey, there we go. You know, so you kind of just, yeah, I mean, you just got to play around with it. I can't tell you how I find them sometimes. Like you just start adding candles together. Yeah, you just start adding candles together. Don't forget to check US 30 and NAS. Yeah, they're bullish. In ADA, Cardano, I mean, it's bullish. Cardano's bullish. Cardano's massively bullish. So anyway, going back to gold, right? Like I'm just gonna be looking for the buy. I'm looking for the buy out of it. I think we're gonna have plenty of time. I don't think we're gonna get down here until at least, you know, London crossover into New York session. So ideally, I'd like to get into it. I mean, this candle happened at 8 o'clock in the morning, New York Open. So I'd like to get into something around that New York Open time is what I'm looking at. Okay. So, you know, just keep in mind you have a nice reaccumulation. And where's this heading? Like, what's my target? 1950s, right? Right here. You know, I've been saying since we were down here, I've been saying that I'm taking it into here. So that's where I'm taking it to. All right. You know, I'm not interested in trying to sell this. Nothing about this is telling me to sell yet. So up we go, right? Up we go. All right. So that's gold, right? Now silver, just because we talked about gold, right? Silver, in my opinion, is a little more bullish. Obviously, we've seen definitely a better move, but nothing clean, right? So I was looking for a buy out of down here. And you can see where gold has confirmed the reaccumulation, we are still trapped, right? You can see I have my alert up here for the new high. This is all just noise, right? This is obviously it's building, right? It's building an accumulation. But for me, you know, honestly, the entry happened probably after we broke structure here. This was the entry, you know, right in here. So, I mean, shoot, what was I looking at? I was looking at the 165. When was I looking at the 165? Yeah. All right. So I was looking there and she missed the 80%. How much did she miss the 80% by? Oh, geez. 1.2 pips. Yeah. So, all right. It is what it is. So, you know, again, I'm not looking for an entry on silver right now because we haven't made a new high, right? We haven't made a new high because this low is nothing, right? Because price can come into here, right? And still be within structure. Actually, price could technically come all the way down to here, right? And then go higher. So for me, there's no play right now. I mean, obviously, if we come below here, you know, there's something to play off of here, but the amount of effort and work that's been going into this, I don't want to screw around with it. I want this to go higher and then maybe play out of here, right? So, I mean, do I think price is going to come into this candle right here and then go higher? Pretty sure. You know, that's what it's lining up to do. But it's not worth me putting risk on. You know, I'm not going to take that entry just because I want to take the entry. Yeah. No worries, man. No worries. So that's my take on silver, right? Damn, when was this? This was the 21st, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I would have been pissed if this came into the 80% and I missed it. I wonder why I didn't put that in. All right. Here we'll move on. Let's go odd CAD. So odd CAD for me is just a waiting game, right? We are still within higher time frame structure, right? You can see this is what maintains structure, this point right here to this high. So we've done an accumulation inside of it, and I know like some of the guys have just been tracking it. For me, honestly, I'm just waiting. Right, you can see right here, spring confirmed. Um, you know, we have our 1, 2, 3, fourth drive. There was an accumulation here. I just missed it. The accumulation happened, I think, yesterday, so I wasn't on the chart. So there was an entry in here. So now that we've had that entry, I just need the break, right? Break this right here. And obviously I would take an entry out of here is my first point of interest that I take an entry out of to go higher. All right. Sango, did you catch this? I know you were on ACAD, bro. Did you happen to catch this? What was it? Oh, it was this morning. Oh, there was an accumulation there this morning. When the heck? Why didn't we look at this? Oh, wait, because I wanted to see the break. I got you. Never mind, bro. I answered my own question. Yeah. So this 15-minute candle, I bet you, did she come to 50% of the 15? No, she didn't come to 50% of the 15. That's why I think I had the alert at the 50%. Yeah. I mean, it did give a nice little, it looks like a nice little type 1. Yeah. There's your schematic. He already left? Yeah, bro. I know he just woke up, man. Yeah. Because I mentioned EJ. Yeah. I mean, it gave a schematic no entry, though. No entry. Yeah, no entry. I mean, unless you took the seconds, unless you took that micro schematic in here. Was it like maybe 15-second? Yeah, unless you took it, and I wouldn't have taken it. I wouldn't have taken it out of this schematic here. So yeah, at this point, for me on odd cat, I just gotta wait. I gotta wait for us to confirm the higher schematic. Wait for the break, and then obviously I'll be playing. Wait for this break here, and then I'll play the pullback. If this is the reaccumulation that causes the high, then this is my first point of interest. Yeah. An 88. I mean, we can look at 88. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see a under $1 Cardano. What about the extreme? The extreme. You talking about the extreme on the higher time frame, bro? No, man. This is, yeah, no. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, at this point, I would play the schematic. Yeah, I would play the schematic. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can it come deeper? It can, but just keep in mind, like, ultimately, I mean, we're still bearish, right? So, I mean, it looks like it's a type 4 right now. So, but I would be, if you get that break, that confirms the schematic and you play the accumulation off of that. Yeah. So that's ACAD. AJ, man, AJ's being AJ, man. What were we looking? Yeah, after the spring. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So AJ, yeah, man. AJ, we were looking for an accumulation out of this slingshot candle. It gave a type 2, right? Gave a type 2 in here. This was Thursday New York session, but it just happened late and then just never gave a reentry. And you can kind of see it's just noise, man. This is just noise. I've got an alert up here for a new high, because if this ends up making a new high right out of here, then my first point of interest that I would play off of is going to be out of this reaccumulation right here, right? This is going to be point of interest number one right here. And then, so play like that to go higher, or play it down into this to then go higher. But I'm bullish on AJ. Yeah, I'm bullish on AJ. But this isn't anywhere in my top like 5 or 6 pairs to trade right now. You know, I would have appreciated a little deeper entry, just didn't give it. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, AU. I know someone dropped an AU chart, right? Who dropped AU? AU. So you're looking for an entry out of this reaccumulation on the 1 hour. Let's see, man. Let's see. So AU, and I'll give you my thoughts. So I ended up breaking even on this trade right here, right? Because I took the 50% here. I do know, like, again, if you guys follow Zach caught the 80%. I personally didn't set the entry, right? Just in my opinion, you know, this was the mitigation. After that, I needed to see an accumulation, and it did give an accumulation, right? If you go back to Friday's price action, you were able to get into this trade off the accumulation. I personally didn't, simply because I was playing golf with my son, and I was already managing NU and GU. So you could see 1, 2, 3 drives. This was the spring break of structure, and it was the same candle, 17-minute, right? It was, yeah, right here, 17-minute candle. It came into 80% of the 17-minute. So, you know, I was looking a little bit higher, right? I was looking into this schematic here, but no confirmation, right? No break of structure, no trade. You could see nice little schematic, spring, no break of structure, no trade. So going forward, for what I'm looking on AU, I'm still bullish as crap on this thing, right? And I know you wanted to play out of here, right? This mitigation. Is this recorded on your YouTube? Yeah. I'm live on YouTube, bro. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I know you want to play out of here. The only thing is this: what did this do? Right? What did this do? It didn't cause a new high or a new low, right? We didn't break structure with it. So for me, this isn't anything I'm going to play off of. Right now, it looks like it's starting to like give a reaccumulation here. I actually am curious to see if we're going to make a new high. If we make a new high up there, yeah, if we make a new high, this is going to be the order flow break. So this is going to be the boof right here. Yeah, so for me, it's just a waiting game on AU. I guess I can delete all this shenanigans because it's not relevant anymore. All right, cool. Yeah. Keep in mind, right? What can everyone see higher time frame? What's going on? I know you posted this 1 hour chart. Oh, wait. I know you posted this 1 hour chart, but just keep in mind what is going on right here. Hold on, let me hide it. So you have the distro, right? You have the distro, and the distro had a creek, and you have what? You have a selling climax, AR, a test, right? A spring, which then makes this the STB. We break this, the expectation is come back to mitigate out of this move, right? Because this is the spring, mitigate here to go higher. And then ultimately you confirm a higher time frame, right? An intraday or a higher time frame reaccumulation. All right, does that make sense? So that's kind of what I'm going off of here. you know, at this point, like I'm just going to be sitting here waiting for the break, right? Get me the boof, which we're not that far from. What are we? 30 pips. Give me the boof, and then I will start to look for this entire candle. So my advice, find the candle that did this, right? You know, so you know it's not going to be a 15-minute candle. I mean, you know, just start playing around with it. You know, go to the 300-minute. So we know it's well bigger than the 300, you know. Let's go to the 8-hour. So look, shoot, damn, there it is. There's your 8-hour, right? There she is. So 8-hour is one of them. That's kind of where I'd be looking, you know, maybe something in there. 8-hour. That does look like a pretty nice candle. 50% of the H8, 80%, and then just find confluence with it, right? Find confluence with all of that. So 80% of the H8. Just curious. Let me see what the daily looks like. Nope. 3-day. So let's go 22-hour. Oh wait, no, 22-hour. Curious to see. So 2-day. What's a 12-hour look like? No, yeah, 8 hours where it's at. The 8 hours where I'd play this 8-hour candle. But I would start digging into that and find confluence in it. You know, find multiple reasons. I mean, there's one right there. So 80% of the H8 would be the imbalance fill right here on the 30-minute. So this is something, I mean, I got plenty of time. So this is something I'll start digging into maybe tomorrow or Thursday, you know, but that right there kind of gives a nice little perspective, you know, of where this needs to kind of come into. So that is AU. That's what I'd be looking for on AU, right? Get that break. Maybe NFP gives us the push down, you know, and go from there. Let's get to CADJ. Let's get to CADJ. How many people were trying to sell CADJ last week? Who all was trying to sell CADJ? Anybody? I know there was a bunch of people. Where's the chart I posted? Here you go. Here you go. This was CADJ. And where's my 3 keys? There you go. So just remember, right? Structure is key, right? You got taken out at break even. I'll be honest, I never tried selling it. Nothing ever told me about trying to sell this thing. Right? You know, I mean, I guess the question is why sell this? You know, why try to sell this when one, all you saw was a lower time frame break of structure, right? They gave you this. And then going into the area that you were looking for sells, what do we have? A failed distro because of this distro, another failed distro because of this distro, another failed distro, another failed distro, another failed distro, because it can never break order flow. You finally got the break of order flow, but it couldn't even make, right? It couldn't even make a new low. So for me, there's just absolutely no reason, right? No reason to try to sell this. And remember, that's why order flow is number 457, right? Cause and effect was huge here. What did these distros do? Absolutely nothing. And for me, I was attempting, I would have given it out of this one here. I was like, I'll tell you what, out of this slingshot candle, if this pushes in a new low, then I would have been looking for a sell. But I mean, what's important in bullish conditions? It's the lows. And look at that thing, man. This thing is just going up. So yeah, we confirmed the reaccumulation. We even got another reaccumulation here. You could see this morning, I was looking for an accumulation here. It looks like it actually did it. Let me just see. It actually, what time was this at? Oh, late. This is late New York session. That's why I'm not even looking at this. So yeah, this is like Sydney session. I'm not even looking at this. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even exist. Yeah. So I mean, ideally, I'm still bullish on it. You know, if we come lower down into this area here, I'd be looking for an accumulation, right? Um, and if tomorrow, if I wake up tomorrow and we make a new high, right? We make a new high, then we know that this maintains lower time frame. So wait for the pullback to go higher, right? I mean, we had this distribution turned reaccumulation by this break. Price comes into this shakeout candle, gives a really ugly accumulation, and it looks like it's pushing higher. So, but I would definitely, I mean, CAJ for me just was correct me if I'm wrong, but I was like, dude, there's nothing about this that's telling me to sell. I mean, just go up to the 4-hour time frame. You know, nothing about this, nothing about this was saying sell, sell, sell. Right? Nothing. I mean, look how massively bullish this thing has been. So I'm not going to try to go and swim against the current. I will set up for the buy though. I will set up for the buy on it. Yeah, so that was CAJ. EA, let me see. Hold on. So we did AU. You're looking at GA. Yeah, we will look at GA. I'm looking at GA in the same area, man. EA, nothing's changed. Like I'm just still waiting. Honestly, I'm waiting down in here, right? I'm waiting here for a buy. Could we react out of here? Yeah. I mean, this is all just noise, and I'm not gonna, when I see stuff like this, when I see a pair sideways for 13 days, I just say pass. I say pass. Yeah. So there's nothing for me to look on EA, like until we start to see some movement. Euro pound. Now Euro pound. Yeah, Euro pound's another one. Euro pound did give a distro in here last week. I think it was like Wednesday. Did give a lower time frame schematic outside of the slingshot that created the break, right? Created the break. And I'm not interested. I don't know if you guys are looking at this as an accumulation. I'm not interested in trying to buy it. I'm also really not even interested in trying to sell it at this point. I mean, look at what this thing has been doing. So for 55 days, we've been in an 80 pip range, so yeah, I've got an alert. I had an alert here because I wanted to see what we did up here. I still will look to see if we get something here. I mean, the only thing I'm really looking at here is sells, and it's because we still are in the bearish conditions, right? Like we are still being maintained by bearish structure. This is the high that maintains bearishness, and this is the leg, right? This is our leg. So, I still will continue to look for sells, but that's about it. I'm not trying to take this as a buy. Yeah, I'm getting to GA. We're almost there. EN. So EN, EN is pretty interesting, right? EN, last week, I ended up breaking even on one trade, taking a loss on another, taking a reduced loss on another. It was all in here. And you can kind of see it did give a pretty clean schematic. So there is a schematic in here, right? Here's your type 1, right? Here's your type 1 right here. And we did come 50% of the spring, but nothing. You'll never see me take an entry off of 21 pips, right? So it missed my entry. I was looking at the 13-minute. Now, just look at what we've done since, right? We did have a reaccumulation, right? Distribution, no sign of weakness, and we ended up breaking and making a new high. So I'm actually, I will be looking for buys out of this area to take this higher. But it's got to be a really clean schematic I got to find, right? Whether it's a 1 minute, a 30-second, a 5 minute, it doesn't matter. But I want to see a clean schematic in this area right here, in this price action. That's what I want to see. All right. Yeah, and if we can get it, I want to take this higher, right? I know we are bearish structure, right, on the higher time frame. But just, I mean, pay attention to what we've been doing, right? We ultimately broke structure here because this was the leg. So we broke intraday structure. So we're bullish intraday, we're bullish lower time frame, we're bearish higher time frame. Order flow is bullish, right? I mean, look at this order flow. What are we doing? We are essentially just making higher highs, right? And higher lows. So order flow is bullish, lots of reaccumulation, lots of accumulations, all right? And ideally, this area down here is going to be a really good point of interest. If we, in fact, do make this new high, this would be an area I'd be putting an extreme on. Okay, putting a limit off of that area, maybe like that 13-minute candle that I had marked off. All right. So that's EN. Like I said, for tomorrow, for like London session, New York session, that's what I'm going to be looking for. Be looking for an entry with a, if we get a clean schematic in this like 168 range right here. All right. All right. GA. I know everybody's looking at GA. GA is in the area that I want to see an accumulation. Right. I've been bullish on this thing all year, but it's been doing it. You know, we had at this point, this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure, right? This low right here is our lower time frame structure point. Okay. And what do we have? You know, last week I tried catching GA so many damn times. It kept running away from me. I mean, you could see all the work I was doing with this. So we had a type 2. We had a type 2 schematic in here, never gave me an entry. We had a reaccumulation, didn't give me an entry when we broke. Had another reaccumulation here, didn't give, you know, I was looking for an entry out of here, didn't give it to me. So I've just been kind of losing the battle trying to catch GA. But we are, right? We are in the reaccumulation. All right. Where are we at? We are in the reaccumulation that caused, here we go, this reaccumulation that caused the break of the high, right? So this push created this break right here. So I want to see an accumulation, and we do have one, right? Technically, we have a spring. So if we look at it from this perspective, right, there's your range, right? Slingshot, selling climax, secondary test pushes up, secondary test pushes up, and then you get a spring, right? So at this point, what I would be waiting for is I need the break, right? So if this is, if this is our low and our previous low after that was this right here, we need to break right here. That's what I need broken. So I just move this right up here, confirms the break of structure. And then when that alert goes off, then I'll look for this candle right here. You know, so, you know, that looks about 6 candles. So maybe go to like the 30-minute, maybe go to the 35, you know, keep playing around with it, you know, find the candle that is ultimately, you know, the spring candle. We're getting closer, right? I mean, yeah, 40-minute. I don't know if it's the 40. Actually, yeah, that was a good play. Did you go through all the rest? Is it? Yeah, 40 is it. Yeah. So that 40-minute, you know, and then find confluence with it, you know, find confluence with, and you can see, like I was looking, I don't know what this is, the 70. I was looking at the 70-minute candle over to the left. I was looking at this candle is what I wanted to see us play out of. And we're kind of doing it. So yeah, I do like that 40-minute, but nothing will happen for me until we break. You know, and even like this 80%, I mean, this is a massive, what is that? That's 7 pips. I mean, 50% out of the question. That's 16 pips. I can't do that. So, but yeah, the 40-minute, I'm just going to mark this out here. So 80% of the 40, and I'll look to see when I wake up in the morning if there's some more confluence with it. But yeah, I mean, we do have a schematic, but now we just need the break, right? You need the break of structure. It's got to break above this high, right? It needs to break above this high, and then you can play off of that, you know, break above, come back to mitigate out and go higher. You know, and I've been saying it months. 1.85 is my target. 1.85. You know, if you look at the 4 hour, we've been maintaining bullishness. I mean, this thing is just, nothing but strength, right? Nothing but strength. All just massive reaccumulations. I don't remember. I think last week was it that a lot of, I saw a lot of people trying to sell GA. Again, for me, no reason to even try to sell this. It's pretty clear that we're bullish. Like I said, at this point, this is what's maintaining a lower time frame. So if this fails, if we don't get the accumulation here and we come lower, right, I'd be looking for a play out of here. And the candle I'm looking at is the 61 minute. This 61 minute candle right here. All right. I'm not going to set a limit order off of it just because all that is lower time frame structure. All right. But it's still something that I would definitely be looking to play off of with an accumulation if we get down there. All right. And if not, we're going to I'd play out of here. All right. And we're getting pretty close. We were 60 pips from 185, so we're getting closer. But yeah, I'm looking for the buy. I'm looking for the buy. I know Sango's also on it. Yeah, there you go, bro. Same thing, man. We're looking at the same thing. So absolutely. And this was the reaccumulation, right? Reaccumulation. And then what do we have here? We have a distro, right? 1, 2, 3. That's your head and shoulders, right? Maybe we get this push like this. Maybe it comes lower and gives an accumulation here. That's your creek. Or maybe we break from here and that's your creek. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying to take this higher. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. What's it doing lower time frame? Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. All right. So hopefully that answers GA for you. I am bullish on all the pound pairs, right? I am looking for buys. Now GJ, again, no reason to try to sell this. Nothing about this is trying, I've been trying to catch the buy out of here or here, hasn't given it to me. I will tell you from a higher time frame perspective, this is still the same leg, right? This is still the same leg. This is what's maintaining for me lower time frame structure. So obviously if we get, and it looks like, this is gonna be stupid. It looks like it gave an accumulation in the slingshot, right? Like if you go like 5 minute, I think there's a reaccumulation there. Yeah. So it looks like it did give an accumulation in the slingshot here. But nothing I'm going to take. Yeah, nothing I'm going to take. I'm going to just sit here and wait. I'll be patient. I'll wait for it back down in here. If it comes down here, great. If not, I'm not going to try and buy it, especially at the end of the day. What about the 30-minute candle at 1.819? 1.81, 81.9, 81.9. Yeah. I mean, I think that's my 61, isn't it? Well, you're saying 30-minute, but hold on, let's see. 30-minute at, what about the 30-minute? 81.9. Talking about this 30-minute candle? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing I've got with the 61. That's my 61. Yep. Yeah, that's where I want it to come down to. Yeah. But we're accumulating right now in here. So if we get the reaction from here, it's in a logical area to give the reaction from. So, but yeah. I mean, I would prefer it to come lower because you can get a better R to R out of it. What was the cause and effect that caused you to look for a schematic in GJ reaccumulation? Wait a minute. To look for a schematic. What, here? Because we made a new high. Right? We made the new high. So this is ultimately a reaccumulation right here. and here's your creek. Does that make sense? Yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm looking here. And this is lower time frame, right? This low, right? This low created this high. So this is lower time frame structure. So I mean, listen, GJ is so bullish that you've run out of names on, you know, I mean, I don't think there's I mean, shoot, right now there's not even any time frames that are bearish. So yeah, you know, I mean, this is the logical area where I want to buy out of. I really didn't want to buy out of up here, you know. So yeah. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I will be waiting down in here. And I said this morning, man, like we had like 200 some pips to go, and this thing, look at this thing. This thing is just doing its thing, man. It is what it is. You know, sometimes you just got to let them run, you know, and that's honestly why, like, if you position yourself in some decent trades, the ability to manage the trade. So like the 6 trades I'm managing, right, keeps me from wanting to take just dumb trades, right? Trades that I have no business taking. So, you know, even if they keep like a small position open, you know, like EJ, the EJ trade from March 27th or 26th, I'll tell you right now, I only have 3.5 lots still running on it. All right. Those 3.5 lots are up a pretty sizable amount of money. But it's still a relatively small order compared to what it was, but it still allows me to have to journal it. Still allows me to have to manage it. And it keeps me from getting into, you know, a dumb EJ buy, because I'm already protected. Why rush the trade? You know, so that's what I'm looking for, GJ. You know, again, looking around here at the low 154s. If we can get that into London, New York, that's where I would want to take the buy out of. All right. And then GN as well. Like I'm looking. You can kind of see what I'm kind of playing with here on GN. Ideally, you know, this was the best entry in here. I mean, what was it? I think we were looking when we did this back test. Yeah, this was the entry right here. I mean, this thing was a 580 pip move from this low, and it was relatively quick. I mean, it was, yeah, I mean, less than a month. We're talking 13 days, 2 weeks to go 580 pips. So at this point here, you know, GN is just a waiting game because GN hasn't done anything, right? GN, this accumulation hasn't created a new high or new low. Only thing we've done is broken order flow. Out of this potential, and you can see I've got a potential reaccumulation, right? So out of this reaccumulation, if we break this high, you can see I have my alert here. If we break this high, you should already start to see the accumulation happening here. I would then be looking for an entry here to take this higher. All right. But there's no limit orders for me to set on GN because this hasn't done anything and this hasn't done anything, right? Is the way I trade the same as the way Mike Neverett trades? So yeah, I mean, I still jump on his sessions. I would say that Mike is more opportunistic he's a more opportunistic trader. So like he's looking for a position every day, right? He's looking for a trade, whether it's a quick, you know, 1 to 5, 1 to 4, 1 to 20, whatever it is, he's looking for that trade for that day, where I'm more of a position trader. Like I'm looking bigger picture, longer term. You know, so in reality, like I'm a, you know, I mean, right. You could say that I'm a swing trader. All right. I'm looking for a bigger move. I'm just, instead of swing trading off the daily time frame and catching a 50 pip stop loss, I'm, you know, I'm swing trading off the 4-hour daily time frame and getting down to a 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30-second, whatever it is, time frame to refine the entry and really capitalize on the risk to reward. So, you know, yeah, I mean, that's how I would say it. I mean, like we see the same thing. I think, you know, and he's said it before, like if you jump on his go lives, like he's looking for a quicker move where I'm looking to position myself in. All right. But yeah, so GN, I'm looking for buys as well, right? I'm looking for buys as well. But on GN, we need to confirm this reaccumulation, right? We need to give me that. And you can kind of see, like I said, you can see the accumulation happening in here. This is that spring. We'll see how that plays out. All right. All right, indices. Let's look at indices. So NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ. I know, I'm sure you guys see the distro, because I mean, I see the distro. Do I have the distro marked? No, I don't. But all right, but we do have a distro, right? Here's your distro. All right. Like I said this morning, I honestly have no desire whatsoever to try to counter trend trade this. Like, I would honestly just rather sit on the sidelines and watch you guys try to sell this than me try to sell it, because it's just not, it's not something I want to do. I'm going to personally just wait for the buys. So what was I looking at this morning? I was looking at what was I looking at? I don't know why I was looking for an accumulation here, but I think maybe out of this reaccumulation, if we broke this high, maybe look back into here. But for me, honestly, like, yeah, I mean, NASDAQ is just pretty sloppy right now. Obviously, we're out of session. So we do have, for me, this is the UTAD, right? This is the UTAD. So, you know, the creek is going to kind of go out this way. So if we ultimately invalidate this, then I'd be looking for a buy, you know, probably down here to take this higher. But if the distro does play out, I mean, which I hope it does, because I want to buy it from down here, right? This is where I want to buy it from. And that's kind of like how I'm looking for NASDAQ. You know, the main reason why I'm not looking for the sell is the sells haven't done anything, right? Like, the distros haven't broken any structure. You know, if you look at what this distro did, this distro traded down into the slingshot of this candle. All right. And then from there, we had an accumulation into a reaccumulation into a reaccumulation. And if this turns into another reaccumulation, which ultimately I think will take out this high. And if you look at it from this perspective, you have a distro, you have a creek, distro with 1, 2 drives, right? Multiple drives up, 1, 2 drives down. What is that? That's a reaccumulation. You know, you're just waiting on the break. So we get this break here, and, you know, any pullbacks would give confirmation for the buys. All right. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on NAS. You know, I kick myself for closing out of this buy down here, because this buy, it's not anything crazy. It'd only be at a 1 to 22. But yeah, I kick myself for getting out of that. You know, NJ is this. Pretty simple, right? We've just been very bullish on this. This is, you know, just this is our high. What was our previous high? Previous high was down here, so that makes this the low that maintains structure. Well, again, slingshot area, right? This is your slingshot area. This is your accumulation. So give me a schematic in here and I'll take this higher, or give me a schematic in here off the lower time frame accumulation and I'll take this higher. All right. So NJ and AJ are pretty much same. You know, that's what I'm looking at. Let this come down. What is it, like let this come down to 150 pips, right, into this area here, or the 80 something pips into this area here, and let it accumulate. And then I'll take it higher, you know, and then of course, you know, these are the ones that I'm going to position myself in and hold on to. All right. Talked about NAS. Let's talk about US 30. I haven't looked at US 30 in a minute. Well, we had a really ugly distro, right? Climax, test, UTAD, right? Terminal shakeout that broke the low. And then from there, what have we done, man? We have later, man, have a good one. What have we done? We're just rallying higher. What happened in here? Yeah, I tell you, man, like I'm just not a fan of any of this price action here. Nothing is clean, right? Nothing is clean in here. I prefer SPX. I prefer SPX. So I was actually looking for a buy this morning on SPX. It just came in way too late. It came in, well, you could see this happened at changeover. It came into this area here. But we have, what do we have? We have just reaccumulation after reaccumulation. I did want to see, and I think it did come, damn, did it come into that entry? Hold on. So let me just see what it did. I was looking for a buy. So if you guys remember last week, I was looking for a buy out of this accumulation or out of this accumulation. So I was looking at a 50% of the 5-second, which, let's see, I was looking at 50% of the 5-second. Did it come into that? Tell me it didn't come into that. Oh, no, we missed it. Okay. So it hasn't come into the area that I wanted to buy out of yet. But the two areas that I'm looking at, two areas I'm looking at are right here. This is the main area, this accumulation right here. Pretty clean accumulation. The candle I want to play off of is the 9-minute candle, right? So this candle right here, this is the candle. Yeah, and again, pretty clean, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 drives, and then we get our spring candle, right? Spring breaks structure, breaks the structure, and never comes back to mitigate. So that was the area, the first area I was looking at. And then the second area was right here. This was news related. And this was off the 5-second. So I know it may be hard to see it, but here's your 5-second schematic, right? You have, climax, test and B, and then you have your spring right here. And if you just go up to like the 15-second, I think it'll be a little cleaner to see, but here it is right here, the schematic. So those are the two areas that I've kind of just been watching. And if we get down into them, that's where I want to buy SPX from. So it kind of makes sense. And you can kind of see how we're doing it, right? I know originally I was looking for a sell out of this distro, right? And just look at how we got there, right? So yeah, we did break this small little time frame schematic, but what do? We had an accumulation into another accumulation, into a reaccumulation, into a reaccumulation, into a reaccumulation. So when I look at this chart, the couple of the questions I ask myself is, all right, so when we're looking at this chart, who's in control, supply or demand? And in my opinion, demand is in control right now. Right? What do? Did this take out weak-handed buyers? Yes. Did it entice sellers? Yes. Did cause and effect? What is the only thing that supply did? You had a distribution, was invalidated by this distribution, done. You had a distribution, invalidated this distribution. We finally got a push, but then you have an accumulation that breaks order flow, another accumulation that makes a new high. You have a reaccumulation that creates a new high, a reaccumulation that creates a new high. And if this creates a new high, you have another reaccumulation that creates a new high. So for me, buyers are in control. Demand is moving in bullish order flow. I don't have to say that we're bullish on every time frame except for lower time frame right now, right? Everything is bullish on this thing. So, yeah, I was looking for a distribution here, but only if we did this. If we came straight up there to mitigate and then get out of town. But the way that this is taking so long to get up there, I'm kind of losing. I'm losing the validation that this is going to be a distro. And in reality, what I think it's going to be is just one massive reaccumulation, right? So for me, that's what this is kind of pointing to. All right. Any questions on that? You guys kind of see what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? All right, cool, cool. No questions, man. I like it. Yeah, I mean, so this, SPX, I'm looking for the buy. Yeah, it doesn't get, yeah, I know, right? I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not, if there's any advice I can give like newer traders to this is, send SPX in Discord. Yeah. I mean, here, you want me to send it just like this? There you go. Let me see. There you go. There it is. The one advice I'd give you is journal everything you do. Go back and look to see, was it worth your time, your energy, and your money to counter trend trade? Because I've talked about it. I've talked about it all year. That last year, I went back and I looked at my journal and I came to the realization that yes, I caught some really nice moves counter trend trading, but it wasn't worth it. It honestly wasn't worth it, and I have since doing that, I've done a really nice job of building some really good equity. Yeah, crypto. Yeah, we can look at some crypto. I know someone wanted to look at Cardano. Let me see, what do I have on Cardano? Yeah. So are we going to see a sub $1? No, we're not going to see a sub $1, man. We're not. Yep. Here's your reaccumulation, man. Yeah. Where would I be looking for? So I'll tell you right now, like I have not leverage traded crypto all year. I've just been exchange buying it, on the exchange, selling it, doing it with the margin that I personally have 1-to-1. And I will say that, I'm massively bullish on this. I would, hold on, let me just see something. Like if you want to get into another run on this, right? Maybe get into another, some purchases. Just look right here. So, you have an accumulation right here, right? This is a type 1. All right. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So I would, if you're gonna look to put, like if you're doing it on Coinbase Pro or something like that, Qcoin, whatever, and you're gonna put buy limits, I would say that I would be looking for anywhere between like $1.20 and $1.10. I'd be looking in here. And if we confirm this and make that new high, I'd be looking around here, like $1, like maybe 35 to $1.40 is where I'd be looking. All right. That's what I'd be looking at. Yeah. Yeah. And when you risk less, it's less stressful, yeah, Cardano for sure. Ethereum. So ETH, I bought this dip. I got in here, off this drop. What am I looking for? So, I'll tell you this, I do have, and it is what it is. I do have an order sitting around $15 or 1,500. If it does come down in there, um, I personally don't think it's going to. I would cost dollar average in. Personally, I would just cost dollar average in on any. If you wake up and you see this thing's like down 20%, I just scoop up some more. But if you let's just look at the technical side of it. So we broke here. All right, so we broke here. Let's just look at this. All right, so we broke there. And then, so this maintains bearishness. So I personally would wait for us to break 3,000, and you can already see what's happening, right? So you have a potential reaccumulation going on here, right? You have a creek, right? You have a creek that's done something like this, right? You have a creek, and let it confirm. So I would wait for the break. I would wait for the break, and then either, I would honestly be looking for, especially in here, right? So maybe like 23 to 2,200, somewhere in here is where I'd be looking for a buy, but just, make sure you get a buy up in here as well, because it may not come that low. Yeah. All right, Andy, bro, have a good one, man. Yeah. Um, yeah, you got it. You got it. But that's what I would look on Ethereum for sure. Um, yeah, and then I mean these are all the other cryptos that I own that I've been just kind of just stacking up on. Hopefully you guys got in on XRP on the last drop. I snagged it on that Sunday at 67 cents. So yeah, I had a buy order in here, and I just market executed here because I was like, I didn't know if we were going to get that low. If you guys aren't in Matic, I would definitely start buying the dips on Matic. I was hoping for 40 cents. Don't think we'll ever get there, but I did get in. I did get in up here, got in here, and now I'm in here as well. So this is up pretty big for me. And if you get a chance, I would be looking at Chainlink as well. Anything under like $25, I'd be buying Chainlink because this thing is going to skyrocket. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I got. Any last minute questions? If you got last minute questions, let me hear them. If not, like I said, I'm gonna do you put the same amount on each buy point? So here's how I personally do my crypto, right? Many moons ago when I first got into trading, I bought Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin when it was like $3,200. So I bought 4 Bitcoin. When it hit 50K, I sold one of them and I took that money and I invested it in a bunch of coins. So now what I do is every Friday I use my crypto account as like a savings account. I put, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 every Friday into crypto. And when I put that into my US, like my fiat currency, my US dollar, I allocate that 1,000, 1,200, whatever it is, $1,500 every Friday. I allocate that on a price point that I'm going to buy it at. And then, yeah, I could just, I split it up. I definitely have my projects that I want to invest in. Sometimes there's some long shots that I get into. So, I'll just throw some money in there and see how it rides. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it. On CRO, I'll be honest, like the only reason the only reason I'm even in this is because I have their crypto.com card, and I staked so that I can get the whatchamacallit. So I don't even know, like I got in, where did I get in? I want to say I did it. I want to say I did it in here somewhere in this accumulation. So like, I saw the accumulation, whatever. It was around January, February, end of January, beginning of February where I got in. Do I think this is going to be anything great? No, I'm going to hold it for the 180 days that I need to hold it for to stake it. And then I'm done with it. It's just so that I can get the, the 4%. They give you like the Netflix, the Spotify thing back. They also give you like the airport lounge. So like it's got all the benefits in it. So that's the only reason I did it, man. Last few months, then just keep. Well, yeah, I mean it did. I mean, if you look at it though, right? Let's just look at it from this perspective. What has it done, right? And in reality, I don't know what happened here, but you had a distro. Distro comes down into what? Into an accumulation. Accumulation mitigates here and causes a new high. Distribution, pushes down into what? Into like this push here, gives an accumulation, breaks, makes a new high. Distribution came down what? Into the slingshot, right? Where it had another accumulation. So, I mean, I do expect this to go higher, you know. I mean, just looking at the chart, I do expect this to go higher. I just personally, I really don't care about the crypto.com coin, that's it. If you unstake, know that they take benefits away. Just, yeah. But no, I know. I'm not putting, I put the 4K right into it, and that's it. I'm not putting 1 penny more into this at all. So I'm just going to keep the 4K staked, and that'll be it. So that's all I care about. I'm not trying to invest in this. I'm not trying to do anything else with it. So, but yeah. I know if you unstake it, you lose the benefits of it. So, but like I said, I'm in from down here, and I want to say it was like somewhere in the like, I think it was like 0.052 is where I'm in at. So other than that, I don't care, but yeah, all the other crypto stuff, I mean, they're doing great, yeah, I'm kind of just sitting here. If comp comes back down, I'll buy comp, but I'm in from $166, and I cashed out a lot of my holdings when we got up to $800. So, but it is what it is. When you move crypto off the exchanges into private wallet, is that a taxable event? So like, you mean like into your ledger? No, because you're still, you're still, I mean, you're holding the asset. So it's like the same thing if you are like a shareholder for a stock, right? Until you actually take the shares out, right, and withdraw it, you're not getting taxed on it. So yeah, so like I do. I mean, I have a ledger. That's where I keep the bulk of my crypto on, and I just keep a small portion of it that, like, so let's just say hypothetically I own 1,000 Cardano, right? And I know that when Cardano reaches, let's just say, Cardano reaches $2.50, I want to sell 25% of it. So I would leave 250 Cardano in my Coinbase Pro account, and I have a sell limit for the 250. And then the rest of it I just leave in my ledger. So am I trading or buying crypto? So I buy crypto. Yeah. I hold on to it, and then I'll sell it at different price points. I'll tell you right now, my biggest play of the year was Ren. My biggest play of the year was Ren. I ain't gonna lie. So I bought Ren, and Ren pissed me off, but I bought Ren back in December down here around just under 30 cents. And when I saw this distribution playing out, you could kind of see when we confirmed the break here, and it came back into this $1.10. I transferred everything into another coin, and then I started buying again when we got here, and you could see I wanted another buy here. I had it at 30 cents, and it just missed my order. So, but yeah, I've been buying Ren up again, and we'll see if this turns into a massive reaccumulation. But if you were to swap it on like Uniswap, then would it be a taxable event? No, because you're not withdrawing. Like, it's still in a coin. You haven't transferred it to a US dollar. Like, you haven't physically withdrawn it from your account. So like, if I go to my Coinbase Pro account, if I go to my Qcoin, if I go to my crypto.com account and I pull my statement, right, I have yet to physically withdraw 1 penny out of all of my crypto. Now, I have sold it, and I've transferred it to other coins. I've swapped it to other coins, right? I've made profits off of it, but all of those profits have been reinvested. So there is no taxable income, at least for the US, right, that I need to declare. Yeah. No. So when you exchange it, so let's just say you're on Coinbase Pro, right? Because I'm, whatever exchange you're using, and say you sell right now, you sell all of your shares of Ren, and say you sell it, and let's just say hypothetically it's $1,500. That $1,500 shows up in what? In your US dollar fiat wallet of Coinbase Pro, right? That's still not taxable, right? It's only when you physically hit withdraw and send it to your bank account, right? Then that becomes taxable. Exactly. There you go, bro. Yep. Yeah. And just keep track, because like I do, like I'll withdraw. I've withdrawn, like I've withdrawn Ether, right? And I've sent it to MetaMask, right? And then with that MetaMask, I've swapped it for Superbid. Okay. And off that Superbid, I've paid gas fees. So, let's just say the 0.5 Ether that I've sent over to MetaMask is accounted for because it's been reinvested in a swap to Superbid. But now I can deduct the gas fees as a business expense, so there's no tax liability on the earnings, but I do have a tax deduction off the gas fees that I've done. So there's all kinds of craziness that I would suggest, get yourself a really good tax person, especially if you're really going to start making a lot of money in this, because there's all kinds of tax codes that they understand and know that can give you a lot of tax liability reduction. All right. It's different in Canada. Okay. Is it the same with your FTMO account if you don't withdraw if you do not withdraw your profits? Yeah, I mean, if you don't actually get your profit split from FTMO, there's no, at least in the US, there's no tax liability. So you made a lot of swaps in crypto, and I can barely track. Yeah. So like what I do is, I mean, but just go to your history. That's what I do. I go to my history, and I just print out my history every month, and I just save it as a PDF file. And then I just, listen, I'm paying my tax guy for a reason. So I send them, here you go, every month, just add up all the fees, a lot of those, like at Coinbase Pro, like it'll tabulate all your fees for the year. You can go from like January 1 to December 31st, and it'll give you a printout of every transaction with all the fees you've made. So yeah, absolutely. How about staking? Yeah. No, I stake everything, man. I stake everything. Yeah, I stake. If it's stakeable, I'm staking it. And some of these are ridiculous stakes. I mean, some of these are paying anywhere 80, 90%. Some of them, and there's one, I'm staking on the 1inch network. I'm staking Ethereum and SHIB. It's 50-50, 50%, 50%, but you're making 426% on the stake for 60 days. So yeah, staking's where it's at. Is there a certain dollar amount that's not taxable? Yeah. It's something like, I want to say it's under 5,500, or yeah, I'd have to double check, bro. I know it's a low amount, maybe 3,500, under 3,500 non-taxable, maybe something like that. How you stake Ether. Yeah, I mean, you just have to find, I mean, there's all kinds of places to stake Ether. It all depends on how you're going to stake it, like you can, yeah, man, bro, that could be a 3-hour long Zoom right there. Yeah, there's all kind of places. You could stake it with Anchor, you could stake it with Engine, you could stake it with on the 1inch network. You can, there's all kinds of ways to stake it. Like I don't stake all in one place, like I have a couple ETH coins that, some of them are like 50-50 with other DeFi coins or stuff like that. So yeah. But any charges when you stake Ether? What do you mean? Like, do you pay gas fees? No, you don't pay gas fees. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, you're making the percentage off of it. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, guys, listen, it is 9:30. I got to eat some dinner, man. I'm starving. So, but other than that, I'll catch everybody later, man. Enjoy. Thanks for jumping on, guys. And you guys have yourself a good night.